Call Volume Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Barakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. To the sisters, the Aquafium, who listen, learn in silence, and have come back to the fold. Shalom. This is your brother Aram Yahweh with the lesson. And I wanted to show you this right here. It says real estate, right? It says take a tour of Michael Jordan's Chicago mansion that's been on the market for 10 years. So that tells you that the state of this economy, the state of this country, because you're talking about a big, lovely house where, normally you have these millionaires, billionaires that live here, but a lot of them have already moved out, and no one really wants to be here in America anymore, which is telling you what's going to happen to this economy. I mean, there's no way that a house should be on the market for 10 years, and why he cannot sell it. He pays more than 100,000 annually property tax. So that's just to keep it up, because basically it's probably paid off. The house is paid off, but he's still paying in the property tax, so that way he doesn't lose the house, right? Because what was it? Abraham Finkelstein explained to you what they do. They sell you these houses, and a lot of people don't pay their property tax, and that's how you lose your house. You spend 30 years paying off your house, and then you lose it because of property tax. The house originally listed for $29 million and has every bells and whistles you can think of. Below, we take a closer look at the house and why it's struggling to find a buyer. God dang. Right. Oh wow, he put the 23 on the gate. Huh? The price of the house has dropped several times. It is now going for 14.9 million. Right. That is equivalent to $517 per square foot. That's what it's equivalent to. I don't see what he's saying. Well, we know what it is, man. The whole thing with this is the stock market, the economy ain't doing what it's supposed to be doing, and it's a testimony to what a lot of these millionaires and these billionaires have left America. And that's really what it comes down to. Daniel's 2:40, and the fourth beast in the fourth kingdom, right? Dealing with the man, right? Because there's four beasts, so it's dealing with the fourth kingdom, right? Shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and the and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise, right? So you're dealing with the Greeks going into the Romans, which we know that's what that is. And whereas thus sawest the foot and toes part of potter's clay, part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, right? Dealing with NATO, right? Not NATO, but EU. The EU, I mean, not NATO, but the EU is partly divided, shall be partly divided, but there shall be in it of the strong iron, right? Dealing with some of those EU countries like Europe and Germany that they kind of still got money. I think France because they have missiles and stuff. They have nuclear missiles, but a lot of those other ones they don't have money like that. Um, so there's some that's strong. For as much as thus sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes, right? Because you're dealing with the fourth beast. The fourth beast is basically the when Nebuchadnezzar had the dream. He had the dream of the man, and a man has two legs, he has 2 feet. Well, Rome went down with the deadly wound that was healed. So that was the first leg. But now we're in with the second leg of the Greco-Roman Empire, which is America. It says, yeah. For as thus has sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, as the toes of the foot were partly iron and partly clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Right, which was dealing with the EU, right, and America, because they're all part of that. Pretty much, they're all part of that system anyway, because America has to get permission from Britain to actually to print money. You know what I mean? So whereas thus saw its iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay, right? Because you're dealing with what we call um, the tares. The wheat and the tares, it's not going to mix. But also, that clay goes into, like I said, the EU. Yeah, so it's Habakkuk 2, 5, yea. Also because he transgressed by wine, which is basically his philosophies, the philosophies of NATO, the EU, and even America, because America's like the face of it, but the EU runs pretty the whole thing. So, the EU is a proud man, neither a keeper at home, right? Going through using America as the face of all this, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death, right? Because America's in all of these different places, and then of course because of um, NATO, which is those other European countries that they're joined together, right? Which America is part of that, right? That eighth horn, right? Says yeah, and enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and he put to him all people, which was it England, Europe does that. There's all different type of people that's there. You know, you got Arabs, you got a little bit of everybody there. You got Elam there, you got Ishmael there, you got Esau, you got Jake there. So everybody's there. Same thing with America, same thing with Canada. All these places that's attached with them, because that's that fourth beast system, right? Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and saying woe, which means destruction, weeping, gnashing of teeth, right? Destruction to him that increaseth that which is not his, and which that's what they've been doing. All those NATO, EU nations that's together, because you got the Australians that basically they, the England flag or the British flag is still part of the Australian thing, and they're allies with them because they're the same people. I mean, it's still dealing with that fourth beast, right? You got Canada that basically is the same thing. They're either got the they got the British, or they got the French, because you got the French Canadians, and then you got the English Canadians that's there, which basically goes into the EU NATO type thing. Then of course you got America, which is the eighth horn, right? And then it says, woe unto him that created that was not his. How long, right? Which is Habakkuk, and which all the prophets have asked that, how long? And to him that layeth unto himself thick clay, right? Remember when we was talking about that, the clay that was in Daniel, right? The lady that laid on with miry clay, that's going into the British exit, which they did that because they were stronger, right along with I think Germany was pretty strong, like I was saying, as far as their economy. And when you go into that clay right here, Abatyad, it says wait, pledge, right? Which basically a pledge goes into, like, if you're taking like a payday loan, or like a equivalent to a title loan. Basically, you're giving up your car in order for to get this money, and the promise that you would give the money back to them. So that, like, your car is the pledge. That's what a pledge means. Like, if you get a title loan and you give them your title is that pledge, right? And then it says heavy debt, which that's what America's in. That's what NATO, EU is in. Except for some of those other places, that's kind of, like I said, strong. But that's what the scripture said in Daniel: partly strong, partly broken. But this is going to be destroyed, and they're going to be given unto the Israelites. Why? Because we're going to, like I said, they're going to heap up treasures for the end, right? It says James chapter 5 verse 1, go to now ye rich men, right? So they would consider so-called Michael Jordan rich, which he's not rich. He's a welfare case compared to the Rothschild, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, those people that got trillions of dollars, who basically puppet the little $1 billion maybe he got in his face, and to get it, he would basically, hey, he'll sell his brother for shoes, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, yeah, let's get that. Yeah. For miseries that shall come upon you, right? And ultimately what? Miseries is coming upon the Babylon the Great, which is America, daughter of Babylon, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, right? Nineveh, right? Your riches are corrupt, right? Because those riches are corrupt. So you're seeing what's happening to corrupt riches, 10 years, a big, beautiful mansion, 10 years on the market, and he has to keep trying to drop the number. He bought it for $29,000. That's a big hit. You paid 29 million, Salakia, 29 million, and then you gotta only sell it for 14. Let alone he might have to drop it again. He might have to. I mean, he might end up having to sell it for 10. He bought it for 29. He probably gonna have to sell it for like 10 mil. Because if anybody's smart, that's what they'll wait out for. They'll just come in and like, look, I'll give you 10 mil for it. You know what I mean? Why not? I mean, you've been on the market for 10 years, and I'll give you 10 mil for it, straight up and down. Yeah. So, your riches are corrupt, and your garments moth-eaten, Salakia. Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them, which is talking about America, which is talking about when the ICBM missiles hit America, all that's going to be in vain. You know what I mean? Shall be a witness. It's going to be a witness against you. That's why I said the kingdom is going to be translated from one people to another, man. Because riches got by deceit, man. What do you think your riches are corrupt mean? Right? You got your riches by deceit. Your riches are corrupt, man. You stole a people. You raped, robbed, and pillaged a people, but then come to find out what those so-called natives, the so-called Mexicans or so-called Puerto Ricans are Israelites, and that so-called black man that you want to call African, which all of us didn't come from Africa. Some of us came from Europe, which are Israelites, and now you're gonna meet the father, the power of the Israelites. You know what I mean? Should be a witness against you and shall eat your flesh, which is talking about the ICBM missiles, as eat your flesh as it were fire, which is talking about the ICBM missiles. Yea, ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Yeah, only really for the elect. You heap those treasures up for the elect, man. Matter of fact, let me get that precept for that, and then I'll go to the one with Soldier Brother for shoes. Yeah, so this is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 10:7. Pride is hateful before Yahweh, right? And you got a house what do you call it? Edomite simple. How do you say it? When they're he's an Edomite sympathist. Yeah, there you go, sympathist. He sympathizes with Esau and not his brother. So Esau's going down. Michael Jordan's finna go down. Pride is hateful before Yahweh and man, right? And the men that it's talking about is the elect, right? The elect is mad because surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. We don't like no hateful, prideful, arrogant thing just because you're linked up with Esau and you want to be part of the boule, and this is and they're giving you some type of leeway, like as if you're so-called white. We seen what happened to OJ once that whole little thing went away. His whole little white card where they were treating him where he was almost like them, that all went away. Both doeth one committeth iniquity. By both do one commit iniquity, right? And Michael Jordan commits iniquity against the Most High, and he commits iniquity against his brother. So do Esau, right? Because we know that this has to do with his kingdom, and that's where Michael Jordan ultimately is getting his money from, because of unrighteousness and because of unrighteous dealings, and that's what Esau has done: unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit. So that money that Michael Jordan got is the riches of Esau, that blood money, that giving our children to alligators and selling us to different countries around the world, selling us in between each other. You know what I mean? You know, even now, the whole drug money. You know, everybody's buying Jordans back in the day with this drug money. You know what I'm saying? What is even Kanye said that. He said, "I buy Jordans, but a crackhead buy crack, but a white man get paid off of all of that." So it's common sense. It's something that you niggas know. You know what I mean? And you refuse to just come back to the Most High. So it says, and yeah, because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit. And that's what he did. He said, the Lord said they will be loose a little seated to deceive the whole world. The kingdom is translated from one people to another, right? And the Lord's going to give it back to the elect, starting with King David. Why is earth and ashes proud, right? Why are you other nations proud, right? You coming against the Israelites. You know that we woke up, we rised up, we know who we are now. Instead of just saying, yeah, you know what, you got us. You know what I'm saying? No, you hey, Ronald Reagan say, if someone comes from outer space and we fight, wouldn't we put aside all of our our differences and fight together? And that's what you're going to do, according to Esdras 13, right? It says, why are earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, right? And that's Michael Jordan coveting Esau, man, and what he has. That's why it says that your deeds have surpassed the wicked, right? Because you're super covetous of this man's system, right? That's why a lot of you are going to get that the MOTB. For such and one setteth his own soul for sale, right? And that's Michael Jordan. He sold his own soul for sale, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels, right? So, this is Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. Wait, matter of fact, let's hit that. Let me 21. Evil pursueth sinners, but the righteous good shall be repaid, right? Hey, and you're gonna repay us, man. You're gonna repay the money, which the gold and the silver, the riches that you have stored up for the last days, right? Because that gold, the gold that you took from Venezuela, is actually the French keeping that, is actually the Most High putting that in your heart, so that that money can be saved. So when the missiles hit America, that gold doesn't melt with everything else over here, with the elements. So you don't know that you're actually doing the work of the Lord, right? Because the Lord said that you're gonna heap up treasures for the last days, and you're gonna have to repay us. It says, a good man, right, which is talking about the Most High, leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. That's ultimately what the Lord is going to do, because He's going to make you pay back that money when ICBM missiles hit, and then you're in your bunkers and your space stations. When everything burns up, and we, Lord willing, I'm saying we, as as hopefully, it's a faith thing. But as we, right, which, because we're an extension of we're gonna be. If I come back as a baby, I'm still an extension of the elect. So or you actually be the elect. But we, as the Israelites, right, through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, shall come down, right, to take you out of those out of those bunkers, out of those space stations, right? And then we're going to make you repay what slavery. Not only are we going to get the gold and the silver and the rubies and the jewels and the wine. Don't forget about the wine, because the Lord said that He's going to give us the former and the latter rain. So it's just yeah. So and that's just what that is. It says a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. And that's ultimately what you're doing. You're stealing the gold and you're having it over there, so when the ICBM missiles hit this side of the world, they don't be destroyed. Yeah, because you know, then you Israelites become, just like Esau. And it says, saying, this is Amos 8:5, saying, when will the new moon, which basically is like a Sabbath, when the new moon comes in, it's a Sabbath, be gone, that we may sell corn, right? So you could just make your money. Like basically like Michael Jordan, he just wanted to make his money off of, young so-called black men selling drugs and buying his shoes. So he became, an owner of private prisons, Basically, he was like, hey, wait. Hey, white man, you're making money off that too? Oh, you know what? Let me get in that too. Let me get involved with that too, right? So he don't really care about his own brother. So he'll, it's anything to make money. He want the new moon to be gone, so he can set, so that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath that we may set forth the wheat, right? So everything's about getting your bread, getting your money right, right? Make small the ephah, right? Which ultimately, that's what happened. Ephah is small now, but the ephah is what the cell phone now. So we're able to still see things. You can see news from over in Russia, or which they kind of cut that out. They all of a sudden they cut off the Russia Today. You know what I mean? So it says make the ephah small and the shekel great, right? Because that's what you niggas rather have. You rather have the shekel be great. You want to just make your money, and that's basically ultimately Michael Jordan, and falsifying the balances by deceit, which is basically becoming like your slave master. Trying to be like them, that we may buy the poor, right? Because that's basically ultimately what Michael Jordan did. Because when you own stocks in the private prisons, basically you own that person. It's like you own the prisoners, and you get a certain percentage or whatever tax revenue or whatever that comes through for housing that prisoner. So you own it. That's ultimately where you're getting your money from. So that's basically what Michael Jordan did. That we may buy the poor for silver, right? Put a little bit of money in, right? And now you're owner of private prisons. And the needy for a pair of shoes, right? Hey. And that's what what Jordan was doing, selling his shoe. That's why I don't really get into the Michael Jordan shoes like that. Yea, and sell the refuse and sell refuse of the wheat. Yeah, so Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai from the west, right? Which is dealing with Babylon the Great, which is America, right? Which is, they should stand upon their feet, a exceedingly great army, right? Coming from the west, which, Abba Bibbins, One West, on down to the elders that rule well today, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Rakah, Apostle Ramlav, Apostle Gabar, right? You know, um, you know, um, so from the West, Hebrew Israelism, what they want to call it, right? But we know we're the Israelites, period. And his glory, which is talking about Yahushai, from the rising of the sun, right? When you see Yahushua coming from the rising of the sun from the east, right? And, in the garden in the right east, he set the guard eastward in the garden, right? So that's where he's going to be coming from, right? He said Jerusalem is his footstool. I mean, the whole entire earth, but the main place is talking about Jerusalem, right? Um, Rising of the sun, when the enemy, right, which Esau Edom, he's gonna come in. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall lift up a standard against him. And that's really for the elect. But for the rest of you, people want to be like Michael Jordan, who wants to sell his brother for a shoe, basically. Yeah, so Michael Jordan's supposed to be rich, but he's not going to be protected in that day, right? Because only the elite are going to be protected. That's why he haven't really left the country. Like if he was really rich, those are really rich. They have left the country and they have actual bunkers in other places. So this proves it right here. This is Amos 9 and let's go 1. Yeah, I saw the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai standing upon the altar, right? Which America is that altar, right? That altar is for what? Sacrifice. And right, and America is about to be sacrificed, and shall smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, right? And cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword, which is the ICBM missiles, right? That he that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escape of them shall not be delivered, right? The only ones that's truly going to be delivered is these elites, but the Lord is still going to get them, right? They're not going to truly escape, though they dig into hell, right? They're underground bunkers, right? And hell is just the ground; it's a hole. So when you dig a hole in the ground, that's hell, right? Which most people call it the grave. Like you dig a grave 6 feet deep, that's hell, or your condition is hell. But in this case, it's talking about they digging a hole in the ground, which is hell, which is their underground bunker. Thence shall my hand, right, which is starting with Yahweh Shai, take them, right? I'm going to take you out of that pit, right? Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down, right? We're going to go up there to the international space stations and take you down. We'll take down your well, the Lord is through the angels, starting with Yahweh Shai. We'll take down your space force and take you out of those things and put you into the pits, man. Put you into slavery, right? It says, thence will I bring them down. Even though you're going to the international space stations, you're still going to be brought down, back down to this earth, and you're going to serve your 1,000 years of slavery. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, there, other underground or bunkers that's in the mountains, top of Carmel, I shall search and take them out thence, right? Which means out of there. And though they hide from me, from my sights, like in the bottom of the sea, right? So they got underground bunkers in the sea, down under the sea. Thence will I command my serpent, which is Leviathan, and he shall bite them, right? And that's just it, man. So yeah, we're gonna throw you in the pit. So and a person like Michael Jordan is just gonna get put to death, man. He's a 2/3, and he's gonna get put to death. So all that kissing, you know, up to these so-called Rothschilds and this Illuminati or whatever they want to call it, is gonna be null and void. Yeah. So this is Isaiah 24. I'm just gonna go ahead and go 20. Because of course your economy is gonna fall. Your race wars, your Egyptian against Egyptian, all these different wars that's gonna happen. Um, Basically, the Lord, when you're about to fill your belly, that's when this is coming. So was it Job 20, when you're about to fill your belly. So it says the earth shall reel to and fro, right, from the ICBM missiles, like a drunkard, right, like a drunk man. When you drunk coming into the house, trying to grab on, trying not to fall, right, and shall be moved like a cottage, right. Say you had like guys night out, right? You had a homeboy over. You come and you walking into the house, stumbling, all drunk, going to and fro, trying not to fall, and then you reach over there and you grab like a little cottage. It's like a little bed. You flip it out and tell your homeboy you can lay on that. You'll be moved like a cottage. Cottage may be folded up in a closet or somewhere, but you can move it. It's movable, right? It's mobile. Move like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, right? Basically, fit for destruction, your punishment. It's finally reached its height. Like Revelation, was it 18 says, your sins have reached unto heaven. And that's basically what it is. And it shall fall, right? Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen, right? Revelation 18. And shall not rise again, right? Wait, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they not rise nor possess the land, right? So it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, right? The day when the Lord has allowed the ICBM missiles to hit, and the elect of Israel is raised up, changed bodies, got on their the glorious body, like that's like Yahweh Shai's, the perfect bodies. The 144,000, and the 1/3, right? Um, which are all Israelites. Even when people want to come into that mixed multitude, or the other nations that you see in Revelation 7, which are Israelites, right? Um, yeah. Then it should come to pass in that day that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai shall punish the host, which means armies, right? Because Esau going to have his military, his space force, all those to come against Yahweh Shai, which is in Second Esdras 8, right? Second Esdras 13 and 8, so like in 13 and 8, right? Because host goes into armies. That's what that means. Host on high. Punish the host of the high ones, right? Which is their military, that are on high, and the kings of the earth, right? Those that the Rothschild, the Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, and those other elites that happen to be the Chinese elite, and the East Indian, Elam, Moab's elite, Ammon's elite, Ham's elite, um, the ones that came from the Syrians, right? They're elite, right? those elites from around the world, you know, basically of the heathen, kings upon the earth, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners, right? Mostly dealing with Esau, right? Esau, Edom, are gathered in the pit, right? We're gonna put you in a pit, right? Even though you're went to your bunkers, you know, you're gonna be taken out of those bunkers and taken down to the pit, right? And shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited, right? And we're gonna come and visit you, and we're gonna make you. It's gonna be continual employment, and you're gonna clean the land of how was it, something Gog? I forgot how the Lord said it, but it's something Gog. But basically, it's going to be the land that the Lord named after, kind of give it like a reference to Magog being destroyed, to being that foot of the bear and the end of Esau, Edom. So call law Yom Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutation to the Akim and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. To the sisters, the Aquafium, who listen in silence, who have come back to the fold. Shalom, and death to America.